The UAE, Dubai, is probably the #1 destination for expats who want to pay low taxes and enjoy luxury. But if you are leaving Europe or another country in order to live there, you need to understand that in the UAE, in order to get a tax residency certificate based on the double tax treaty, you need to spend 6 months per year in the country, 183 days. But once you have fulfilled that requirement, it's not enough to just submit the E6 form to your country beforehand, notifying them that you are leaving. You also need to make sure they cannot consider you a tax resident under their internal legislation, because if they do, you will end up facing double taxation. Let me explain. We have a Supreme Court ruling in Spain confirming that the Spanish tax agency cannot question a tax residency certificate issued by another tax authority. However, we also have recent rulings from 2024 where a UK taxpayer with non-dom status and a certificate for treaty purposes was challenged when trying to benefit from the treaty, not the certificate itself. These European countries, these tax administrations found a loophole to go after people who don't have full protection under the treaty. In other words, they are arguing that even with a certificate, you might not be entitled to treaty benefits, and that can lead to double taxation in that year. If you read the current double tax treaty between Spain and the UAE, you will see that it only covers Emirati nationals. So if you are granted a tax residency certificate in Dubai, but you are not an Emirati, that certificate is useless for treaty protections. It only serves to break ties with Spain, not to shield you under the treaty. The key here is that if you move to Dubai or another emirate, you must ensure that under Spain's internal rules, they cannot consider you a tax resident based on economic or vital interest. It doesn't mean you cannot have a house or a company or something in Spain, it just means that what you have there shouldn't be the most. You need to have more out than in Spain, but it's not about percentage, it's about absolute value compared to what you have in Spain. That's why I always say going to the UAE is like moving to a country without a tax treaty. It doesn't mean you can't go, it just means you need to tie everything up properly, or else you are setting yourself up to get destroyed in a few years. After this clear example I have given you with Spain, I have also been reviewing other fiscally aggressive countries like France, Germany and the UK. In the case of France and the UK, from what I have read, the treaty does not specify that only Emirati nationals are covered, but Germany does, which means it falls under the same condition as Spain, and that could lead to double taxation if under German domestic law they still consider you a tax resident. And the truth is, maybe they won't say anything right now, maybe 5 years go by and still nothing happens, but what we are seeing is that tax aggressive countries are becoming even more aggressive, to the point where they may end up taxing people based on citizenship just like the US already does. We already know that the UAE, even though it's part of the CRS, only shares selective information. It also rarely responds to formal requests from other governments, but over time they are starting to soften. First, 9% corporate tax, a small business exemption will end in 2026, 50% corporate tax on multinationals making over 750 million, monitoring how much salary you pay yourself so you don't avoid taxes. I don't find it far-fetched at all to imagine that in the next years they will start fully reporting through CRS or even introducing personal income tax, which is currently at 0%. I'm not saying the UAE isn't a good place, on the contrary, it's the perfect destination to stop paying taxes in Europe and to escape all the woke policies. I personally help people to move there without paying 20 or 30k in setups. For less than 10k you can get the company and visa in less than 1 month. I love the UAE, whenever I have time I go there, I have friends there and I enjoy it a lot, but I want to be realistic with you, just as I am when I talk about Paraguay, El Salvador, Panama or even Europe. I would rather pay much less and enjoy luxury in Dubai than live in Europe, pay 50% in taxes and feel less free even if people there think they are free. As always, if you need help reviewing your specific case so that you don't run into problems with your country of origin or your new country, you can fill out the form in the description and we will look at everything in detail.